Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is easily the most balanced game in the series, and I don't think anyone would argue that. Just by looking at the official tier lists of each game, Ultimate has the most characters in either S or A tier, at 46% of the whole roster in the first tier list, and 37% in the second, compared to all the other games. 46% of over 80 characters being in the top 2 tiers is insane, and even the characters in the lower tiers aren't that bad, just not as good. Except maybe these two. This is in part due to the very meticulous and well-made moves of these characters that you can tell the developers put a lot of time into. These are moves that can be thrown out without being punished and have very high reward considering how low the risk is. I want to focus on those moves in particular, the safest moves in Smash. But what exactly makes a move safe? I recently released a short covering all the moves in Smash Ultimate that can be over plus 10 on shield, but surprisingly, I won't be talking about any of those moves in this video except for one of them. Pure frame data itself doesn't make a move safe if it has short range, has slow startup, or is just extremely weak otherwise. In another video I made recently, I covered some moves that fit this exact criteria that might have good frame data but are lacking in other ways, which I recommend you check out. But anyway, let's get right into analyzing the safest moves in Smash Ultimate. Cloud is a character that had immense success in Smash 4, but struggled at first in Ultimate's meta, being put around the middle of most tier lists during the first few years of the game's release. He has since climbed his way all the way to top 10 in the game in the first tier list, and top 13 in the second, which for the most part can be attributed to the major success that Spargo had with his character in many major tournaments. Once people realized how good this character's back air was, and how essential it was to his game plan, it seemed people were finally starting to give him the respect he deserved. Considered by many to be the best back air in the game, this move is -3 on shield with 2 active hitbox frames. Thanks to Cloud's Buster Sword, this hitbox is a massive disjoint, giving it plenty of range, even if it's only active for 2 frames. This makes it a good combo move at low percents, a good kill move at high percents, and a good edgeguarding move at any percent. Another character who has climbed his way up the tier list in the span of Ultimate's meta is Mr. Game & Watch. I main this character, and let me tell you just how many things this little 2-dimensional man gets away with. It feels like none of his moves are punishable, but the biggest culprit has got to be his up smash. Let's look at a similar style of up smash with Mario's to get a sense of what we are dealing with, and just how ridiculous Mr. Game & Watch's is. Mario's up smash is pretty quick at frame 9, and has invincibility on his head for all of the active frames. It is -20 on shield, and lasts for a total of 39 frames. A totally reasonable up smash. On the other hand, Mr. Game & Watch's up smash is much slower to start up at frame 21, but in return, the hitbox is active for a frame longer. He has full body invincibility for the duration of the active hitbox instead of just his head. It is much safer at -6, and even with a longer startup and more active frames, it still has less total frames than Mario. He needs it. The next safe move I'll be talking about is what I consider to be the best of this style of jump kick aerials, Link's neutral air. I wanted to choose just one of these moves to analyze since there are so many characters with this style of neutral air. The ones in top contention for the slot other than Link were Young Link, Mii Brawler, and Fox. While Link's is the slowest out of those I just mentioned, it just does so much that it doesn't even matter if it's a bit slower. This move is -1 on shield at its sweet spot and -3 otherwise, both of which are insane numbers. The lingering hit lasts 25 frames, which is actually the same as Jigglypuff's neutral air. The safety of the sweet spot combined with the long lingering hit makes this move almost completely unpunishable, especially when taking advantage of Link's very high fast fall speed. Meta Knight is a character who has seen the top of a tier list before, but has fallen immensely since his Brawl days. What hasn't fallen though is his forward smash. This is the safest forward smash in the game for a similar reason to Mr. Game & Watch's up smash. It is not a fast forward smash to start up, with its only active hitbox on frame 24, the same frame that Sephiroth's forward smash comes out. However, it makes up for that with its very good safety on shield at -6, with very low total frames at 41. Though the hitbox only lasts for 1 frame, it is a disjointed hitbox since it's a sword, giving it decent range. It also pushes back shielding opponents a fair bit, which increases the more the move is charged, making it even safer. Sonic is another character who has climbed his way up the tier list over the course of Ultimate's meta, making his way all the way to number 4 on the first official tier list, to number 2 on the second. His speed has been a huge factor to his success, but so has his side special, Spin Dash. Spin Dash is notorious for being a move that Sonic players spam throughout a game, with this move being one of the main contributing factors towards Sonic players' typical passive playstyle. This is the move I was talking about earlier that appeared on the short art released recently, as it is plus 11 on shield at best and plus 4 on shield at worst. While the hitbox isn't anything crazy, it just comes out at you so fast that it's hard to react and avoid getting hit. Rob has consistently been one of the most commonly used characters in tournaments for the duration of Ultimate's meta, likely due to his very well balanced kit of good neutral, good combos, and good recovery. One of the biggest contributors to his game plan though is his down tilt. Like Cloud's back air, this move is generally considered to be the best move in its category, as it does so much. This move can trip ground opponents, combo into itself, combo into other moves, punish missed techs, and probably more. With a lightning quick 3-frame startup, being -5 on shield, having decent range, and a low profiling hurtbox, this move is very spammable and next to impossible to punish. When Steve first came out, he was not seen as a very good character, with some people even considering him to be a bottom tier. To say the least, things have changed. In case this is where you live, Steve is the best character in the game, with some tournaments even banning him outright. This is in large part due to his extremely technical moveset that at one point seemed to have new techs being discovered every day. His kit is loaded with great moves, but the safest one has to be his up tilt. This move comes out fairly quick for an up tilt at frame 6, has the unique ability of being able to walk while performing the up tilt like he can with his jab, and is -4 at worst. The gold version comes out even faster with an even shorter cooldown, but really any of these up tilt variants are extremely safe. Lastly, we have Kazuya's Electric Wind God Fist. I don't think it should come as a surprise at all to see this move on here. Electric Wind God Fist is one of the best moves in the game, period. This move has full body intangibility for a few frames, which shouldn't come as a surprise since Kazuya's whole moveset has a ridiculous amount of invincible moves, but that's not even what makes this move so safe. This move doesn't actually have a distinct value for safety on shield, since it has a unique property where it forcibly pushes your opponent out of shield, putting them about a roll distance away. So if you hit your opponent's shield on a platform, or close to the ledge, or even just on the middle of the stage, it will push them away, leaving you completely out of danger of being punished. Even if you miss your opponent entirely, you'll still most likely be in the clear, as this move has a very reasonable 24 frames of end lag. And those are just some of the safest moves in Smash Ultimate. Like with the rest of my videos, there's definitely enough room for me to make a second part to this video, especially since Ultimate is so well balanced. So if that's something you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. Feel free to comment what moves I missed that you would like to see analyzed in part 2. Other than that, I really appreciate if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Thanks for watching.